Hey everybody, movie review next door here, and back with another review. Decided to watch another movie, and that movie tonight was Proud Mary. Um, this is the poster they use on Letterboxd, very minimalist. But Proud Mary, this film is directed by Babak Nayafi. Um, this film's from 2018, and it stars Taraji P. Henson, Jahi Diallo Winston, Billy Brown, Neil McDonough, and Danny Glover. Now, in this film, Mary is a hit woman working for an organized crime family in Boston whose life is completely turned around when she meets a young boy whose path she crosses when a professional hit goes bad. So, what do I think of this film? It's a bit complicated because you see the blue, you know that means 8 out of 10. Now, here's my thing with that. Again, if you don't know about my rating system, 8 out of 10 means it did like what I was expecting the movie to do. Which, yes, this film did that. I feel like this is a decent film. This is easily just a 7 out of 10 action film, elevated up to 8 because of Taraji P. Henson and Jahi Diallo Winston. So, like, it does have quite a lot of issues, and I will get to that. But they're not issues that, like, destroyed the movie for me or anything. There are many people online who hate this movie. And are like, oh, black cinema deserves better, which, sure, but saying that a action movie like this destroys black cinema it's people wanting clickbait and all that. Let me get to the actors. Taraji P. Henson as Mary, she did a really good job. She did. I don't know if I'd 100% buy her as a professional killer. I'm still on the fence about that a bit. But she did a good job. They didn't make her do anything so ridiculous. Maybe at the end a little bit, but at the end it was fun and it was well done. They didn't try to make her to be like an invincible woman, like female hitman. They made her a bit more human. She actually feels emotion, which it's nice to see that. Given a lot of female starring action films that do the exact opposite. They make the female character hate all men and freaking they make them like just so hateful, and then people are like, yes, Queen Slay. But like here, Taraji plays a good character. She's a very interesting character in Mary, and while it's not like a super deep character, she plays it well. I have come around on Taraji P. Henson because the first time I saw her was in Smokin' Aces, which maybe I'll have to watch that film again. I do have it in the sequel, so maybe I'll give both of them a try sometime. I didn't mind her there, but I thought like this is a weird character for her to be playing. And now that I've seen some episodes of Person of Interest, I actually do like her. I think she's a good actress. So I'm super open to watching other films with her. Jahi Diallo Winston plays Danny. Danny's a kid. There's like a hit that she does where she feels bad for killing this kid's dad, so she basically is trying to take care of him, get him off the streets because he's an orphan. He did a really good job. He wasn't annoying. He actually could stand up for himself. It's not like he's just like she's like got to do everything for him. He's clearly a bit street smart. But yeah, I liked him here. Oh, excuse me. Apparently he's been in some other films. That's cool. Um, Billy Brown as Tom. He's a coworker of Mary's. He did a good job. He wasn't. He worked as his character. Neil McDonough as Walter. He's got One scene. I like Neil McDonough. I know there are many people who don't. More power to you. I like Neil McDonough. So I wanted him to be in quite a bit more of the movie. He's in one scene and then he dies. That's not a spoiler. It's like literally he's in one scene, he says a couple lines, and he's somehow like fourth build or whatever. He's billed above fucking Danny Glover, and Danny Glover's in quite a bit more of the film than he is. But on to that. Danny Glover as Benny, he's the head of this whole crime organization. He's alright, but I don't know if it's just me, but whenever he talked, I think he was dubbed. Now, I don't know if this was the same time as Badasses with him and Danny Trejo, but he sounded really weird. No, Badasses was 4 years before this. I don't know what the fuck happened to his voice. His voice sounded really bad. I don't know at all. Shit. But yeah, like, his voice sounded really like, did you get it? And I'm like, that's not what Danny Glover sounds like. And I've heard him in the past decade. I know what Danny Glover sounds like. So I was so confused. Um, but yeah. Um, other than that, he's okay, I guess. Oh, and apparently Taraji P. Henson's an executive producer on this. That's cool. Um, but yeah, this film, again, I have my issues with it. I have quite a few, to be honest. But Taraji is playing her heart out in this. She seems really into the character, and I'm always glad to see actors in movies that aren't the best super into the characters of those movies, because I'm like, maybe if they had more control, maybe the film would be a bit better. I don't know, but like, I'd like to see Taraji play another type of like this type of character again. Even though, again, I don't know if I 100% buy Taraji P. Henson as a hit woman. Because of how good her acting is, I kind of, give it a pass, because there are many other actors that do this type of role and I just don't buy them at all. Like, and I just wish that they wouldn't play this type of role. But with her, I don't feel that way. This film has a 2.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Now, I will say, there are some really messy parts to this. Really messy. Messy edits, messy scenes. There are even some action scenes that don't look the greatest. Not just because of the CGI blood, but just scenes that feel a bit rushed. There's a scene between... There's a couple of scenes where the audio mixing, like, you'll hear, like, that there's a scene with Taraji talking to the kid, and she's like, it's about you and me. This is about us. And it sounds like a completely different take. So, and they cut just as it happens, I guess, to, like, distract you, but they didn't put a crossfade at all. It just, they're just like, this is about us. And it sounds really bad. It sounds like they rushed this film. Now, I don't know if they rushed it. I will say one thing about this film, it does look kind of cheap. Not because of the sets, because of how it was made. It kind of looks, at times, a bit too smooth. I'm not a fan of high frame rate films, other than Gemini Man, because in Gemini Man, it felt like they had the budget to do the action in a way where it would be like, ooh, you're seeing this type of action in 60 frames or 120 frames, and it looked interesting because it was very explosive, the action scenes. But in this context, it's not the whole movie, it's certain scenes. It just doesn't really look that good. There are bits of CGI, like when her car is getting shot at, or cars are getting shot at, and you see like the the back windscreen, like people shooting through it. it looks like the decals in GTA 5 when you shoot through someone's windshield. It really does look that bad. There are many points like that, but I can't help myself but actually like this movie. Now, again, do I like it as much as other films I've given this rating? No, I don't. I mostly stayed interested in it because of Taraji P. Henson and Jahi Diallo Winston. I really liked them in this. And this, again, this is one of those films I can see. It was released by Screen Gems, who I guess Taraji was willing to work with them because she worked on No Good Deed with Idris Elba. This company released also that film with Beyonce and Ali Larter, Obsessed, I think it was. Um, there's one Morris Chestnut, When the Bow Breaks, The Perfect Guy. They've released a lot of these type of Fatal Attraction things that star a lot of black actors, which I'm guessing is why they chose to do this film, because the film does star a mostly black cast, which is cool. It's cool to see that, and it actually makes sense in this context. This film is trying to be a throwback to blaxploitation films from the 70s, like Foxy Brown, Coffee, Friday Foster, um, Shaft. It's trying to be a throwback to those, even Dolomite. Like, and they don't make like specific references to those films. I'm glad they don't. And I still have never seen Jackie Brown, which is also kind of trying to do that. Um, in this film, it just again, I don't love this film. I don't. I like it because I can understand what it's going for, and I think there are parts of it that are well done. The action scenes, I will say, even with the CGI blood, which I'm never a fan of, I said that in the John Wick series, I said that with so many other movies, the CGI blood here does not look good at all. There are moments where, like, it'll be a character from a distance that gets shot, and then the CGI blood, like, hangs in the air for half a second or some shit, and I'm like, that's unfinished looking. And there are a lot of people who would just throw out the movie entirely, no matter how good the performances were, because of that issue. That's not me, though, because I'm interested in more than just, like, small details, which, yes, I'm harping on small details right now. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to give the film credit where it's due, because I do think there are bits of this film that are well done. Again, Taraji P. Henson and Jahid Diallo Winston's relationship, I think, is very sweet and very interesting. Again, this is something that's been done before. A hitman kills somebody, and turns out that person had a kid, and then they, like, save the kid at some point. I understand it's not original, but it's also trying to pay tribute to those blaxploitation films of the 70s. So I can understand why it's doing these types of things. And again, I am a bit surprised at how cheap this film looks at sometimes because of the director, Babak Nanyafi, who directed London Has Fallen, which is the second film in the Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, Angel Has Fallen trilogy, and there's going to be Night Has Fallen at some point. I don't know when. I can't wait for it. But it with London Has Fallen, I liked that it got into the action a bit quicker, and it was a bit more varied action-wise. That there were different types of action scenes and different locales. Where Olympus Has Fallen, while I still do really like London Has Fallen, it does have that issue of most of the film is Gerard Butler walking down a hallway, shooting guys, walking down a hallway, shooting some guys. And while that is very fun, the film did run a bit too long. I didn't think it needed to be 2 hours long. But I do love Gerard Butler. But here, this director, I don't know if this was meant to be rushed or something. I don't know how long it took to make. I don't know how I'd know that type of shit. But there are bits where it's clear that they did not take enough time to re-edit a scene or reshoot a scene if certain things didn't line up. There are scenes where it'll cut from one take to another take in the same scene, which is amateur. But still, again, I can't hate this film. I don't hate this film. And yeah, I think, again, Taraji and Jahi do good jobs in the film. So, yeah. And I like how it ended. I thought the ending action scene was actually pretty good, other than the CGI. But it seems like they actually did do some choreography with Taraji P. Henson, and it didn't look too bad. So, yeah. I guess I'll go to the pros and cons. Pros, again, Taraji P. Henson, Jahi Diallo, Winston, Billy Brown all do good jobs. The score... The score... Oh my god, it doesn't list who did the score. From Phil Eisler, was okay. Again, the action is decent for the most part, other than the CGI blood. The film moves at a very quick pace. It's about 88 minutes long, 89 maybe. Cons, again, the film does look cheap at parts. It does feel kind of not that great edited. At least the action scenes don't quick cut and shit. It's mostly editing during normal scenes where it'll cut a bit too much between actors and like downtime in between talking, and I just hate it when movies do that. Again, Danny Glover, I don't know if it's his fault. I don't know what happened. Maybe the dubbing just sucks, but he seems really off in the film. And yeah, I do wish that the film could slow down a bit and give a bit more development to certain characters, like Billy Brown's character, Tom. But yeah, still, I don't know if I'll ever watch this movie again. This isn't a movie I can see myself really rewatching. But I'm okay with watching it because I got to see more of Taraji P. Henson, and I do really like her. So, that was my review of Proud Mary. If you liked the review, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and movie reviewer next door.